Hi, Marcy Davis from Quick Start Piano for Adults. I'm here to talk about one of our newest resources, Perfect Patterns Plus. And we have a studio license for this guy, so if you're my student, I can print off as many copies as we need, and you can print 1 or 2 pages at a time depending on what you need. I also have a couple of shiny ones here at the studio if you prefer that, or I could print it off and you can pick it up. I have a binder here so you could pick it up yourself as well. So I'm going to talk a little bit about this book. It says early intermediate. To me, it's pushing the edge a little bit of what that might mean, a little bit more difficult on the difficult side. At the same time, they sound a lot harder than they actually are, the pieces in this book, because they are using patterns. Lots of repetition. They're using familiar patterns and chords that your fingers have already been using in your other studies, and lots of repetition again. So the pieces look a little bit more difficult on the page than they actually are to execute, although that might not be true on the very fast ones, but there's a bunch of slow ones in here too. So let's take a peek inside the book. I'm going to start with page 3. The other thing about this book is it picks one technique to focus on, and that's what repeats a lot. So this one says it's focusing on left hand leaps, and that you'll be able to see what they're talking about here, back and forth. So if that is something that you want to focus on, that's one way to think about it, but you could be just that you really like the sound of this song. So I'm going to show you these chords here. These chords here are not so difficult. You've probably played a pattern like this already. So the difference is they're adding this pedal tone. We've got a D on the left hand, and they're putting another D down here. So you're going from one D position to the next. And this is a slow song, so you get to take your time. Gives you a peek. That was Midnight on the Bayou. And here's kind of a fun one. This is Agent 343, and it kind of makes you think of every secret agent movie you might have seen. You notice we had this nice scale, and it says the technique for this song is the 2-octave scale, so you're going to practice that a lot. They also do it on the left hand. Then there's one called Shimmer, and the technique for this one is rolled chords, and that is where instead of hitting everything all at once, you roll it either from the bottom or the top. The default is from the bottom. If they want you to do it from the top, I'll have to write that. So we'll be rolling from the bottom. This one's probably easier than the other two. Jumping down onto the next page here. There are some arpeggio patterns where you're going to be crossing over and switching your hand position. if you like Ragtime and some Scott Joplin, the entertainer, this is 6th Avenue Rag, and they say they're practicing parallel 6th, which is a 6th is, here's a 5th, and the 6th is just one higher. You can hear the 6th in there already. Rhapsody in Red, broken chords in inversions, and we've also got that pedal tone at the bottom. We haven't quite hit the broken chords yet. And I wasn't quite doing the timing right. 1, 2, 3, 4. There we go. Okay, so the broken chords start here, and what we've got, here's our D minor chord. And if you are changing your inversions and going down, that's basically what this song is doing, except for it is doing one note at a time, and then it has to do it really fast. See if I can get this right. There we go. So if you want some practice with that, or if you like the sound of that, that would be a good one. Next one is Twilight Lullaby. This piece is written for left hand alone. So there's notes written on the treble clef, but you're actually going to hit them with your left. Piano teachers like to write a few of these for the times when a student comes in with a sprained or broken wrist. To make it easier, you could always play the right hand part with the right hand instead of all with the left, but I'm going to try it with the left. Twilight Lullaby. If you play this top note with the right hand. So depending on how hard you want it to be, you could do it either way. All right, we've got Takata Energico, something like that. It sounds a little Spanish, a little flamenco. And they're talking about block chords and inversions again. They say that's the technique. So. Probably heard that general chord progression over them before. All right, Floating the Nile, and the technique here is practicing the chromatic scale. Chromatic scale is when you play every single note without missing any, and we have a specific fingering for doing that, and she incorporates that into the song. Gives you an idea on that one. And we're getting close to the end. All right, Maelstrom. I think this is the last one. No, second to last one. So this is hand crossings, where you're going to take your left hand and cross it over the right while the right stays right here. So again, it sounds and looks on the page harder than it actually is, because this is what the right hand is doing. Just the same thing over and over again. Together. Quite beautiful. All right, last one, and this is called Valor, and the the technique here is arpeggios. And I like how she starts arpeggios at the top. So often we learn them up, and then maybe we learn going up a little bit better than going down since we start there first. So we get to practice them going down. If any of those sound like they would be interesting to you, let me know or check out our student portal when you log in. And I look forward to seeing you at your next lesson.